Hello there everyone, this is Brother Birch. In this video I will be introducing your week 5 prove assignment, draw a scene. Okay, so this is really great because this week we've been learning about writing functions and calling functions from other functions. And this week for our proof assignment, we're going to be using libraries of code, either tkinter or KIV, that enable the program to have a user interface. Okay, and so you are going to create something similar to this just by calling a bunch of functions that write code. For example, I might have a function that draws this circle right here, right? And maybe I could find that exact same circle over here, or over here, except that one looks a little bigger, over here, except that one looks a little smaller, and different things like that. And here's all this grass. And so maybe I have just a single piece of code that draws one of these strands of grass. And then I keep on calling that function over and over and over again. So first off, go ahead and click on these and read about how they work. So in this part of the tkinter tutorial, we will do some drawing. Drawing in tkinter is done on the Canvas widget. Canvas is a high-level facility for doing graphics in tkinter. It can be used for creating charts, custom widgets, or even to create games. Okay, so obviously this looks pretty simple, but you could totally create games with this. Imagine all these little bugs like racing or something like that. Okay. So I would encourage you can even like copy and paste this and run it. It says where they're drawing lines, what the parameters are, what type of lines they're drawing, and it's a really good tutorial for how to use this. So I would not skip over this link. I would definitely read it. This next one talks about the Canvas widget, okay, and how it works, what kind of imports it needs, and then how to work with it, okay. So yeah, go ahead and read those. And then as we get started, let's see here. You'll create code or write code that draws the sky, ground, and clouds. During the next lesson, you'll write code that completes the scene. The scene that your program draws may be very different from the examples seen above. You can be creative as you want. It just has to be outside. Each repetitive element must be drawn by a function that your program calls repeatedly, once for each repeated element. Okay, so if I think about these little circles that I was looking at, maybe I have a function that draws a circle and I pass in a width and a height for that circle or something like that. Okay, and then based on the parameters that I pass in, it'll create different circles in different locations. All right. So let's go ahead. It says begin your program by copying and pasting the following code into a new file named scene.py. All right, let's do that. So I'm going to copy, this whole thing, and I'm going to open up my text editor. All right, I'm going to paste that right here, and I'll say prove demo.py. Okay, now I want to see what this actually looks like when it runs, so I'm going to go ahead and run it. All right, look at that beautiful scene. Sweet, so it means my code's working. That's nice. All right, now let me close this, and let's try to understand this a little bit. We have main, which gets called from the very bottom. All right, and then main creates a root and a scene. Okay, scene frame is declared right here, and it looks like we've declared a few things like size. All right, and then we have our main loop. Okay, that we'll be able to go through and continue looping to draw different things inside of our canvas. All right. And so starting with this, we have this that we can write up. Let's go ahead and make a simple change with it. So first, let's go ahead and make some changes here. Let's say I wanted to cut these in half. So I have left is 5. That'd be a quarter. We'll cut that into a quarter too. And this into a quarter. And this into a quarter. And this into a quarter. And let's change up our colors a little bit. So I'm just going to head over to my browser and I type in CSS colors. And this will give us some colors to choose from. Let's go ahead and do crimson. Come back over here and let's do that for our fill. And let's see what this looks like when I run it. I had code already running. Let's try it again. There we go. Okay, so notice my outline got a lot thinner because this whole thing, or this part at least, is about our outline. Okay, if I bumped that up to like 15 and closed that and ran this again, you can see now that's 15 pixels wide, and I didn't have enough space on that side. Okay, now let's try something else. All right, I'm not going to want everything drawn in here, but what if I did something like this? I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to want different functions for different things. So I'm going to say draw sky, and I'm going to pass in canvas. And then down here, I'm going to make a new function called draw sky. Whoops. Pass in that canvas. Okay, let me go ahead and fix this. It says unmatched indent, so let me just move that over. All right, and then inside of draw sky, what do I want my sky to look like? I'm going to say canvas dot, and if I didn't know how to make anything, I could say Python canvas functions. Canvas widget, that's the one. Okay, we have a way to create a line, a rectangle. That sounds nice because I'm making a sky. So I'm going to say create rectangle, and then let's see what we pass into our rectangle. Okay, looks like our canvas itself has master width and height. Our rectangle, we just have our dimensions and then a color. Okay, so let's pass these in. I'll just say 0, 0, and 799 and 599. And then we'll say for our fill, let's find a nice, let me close that. Let's find a nice CSS colors again. Find a nice blue for our sky. We get a nice sunny day. That's pretty. Cornflower blue. And that'll be our fill. Okay, now let's run this and see what we get. Look at that beautiful sky. Now on top of this, I can just call more functions. Okay, if I want to draw some leaves or something like that, just figure out different shapes to draw, and then create those functions down here. Okay. Hopefully this is helpful for you. I hope you guys enjoy this assignment.